I'm not even gonna try and get into the plot details of this movie. Oh, it was so bad. Right, the first Matrix is one of my favourite films of all time, and I have seen it so many times. I know every single word from it. Literally, it's just amazing, and I'll be doing a review on that. But this movie, it was so bad. I had no idea that it was bad. I saw this on this trailer, and it was like, you loved everything from the first movie, one scene from the second, absolutely nothing from the third. I haven't seen the third one as of this recording, but I just watched the second one, and it was so terrible. So basically, on Sky, there was this like sci-fi horror channel, and all day it's just been playing Matrix, the Matrix Reloaded, the Matrix Revelations, all over non-stop. So I've recorded all of them, and I just wanted to record the Matrix because I love the film. So I watched the second one, and it was so bad. It was so shockingly terrible. It was ridiculous. I was watching it, and for the first half an hour, this wasn't even the first time I'd properly seen it. The first time I watched it was a few months ago, and I fell asleep after half an hour, and I just didn't bother finishing it. That was how bad it was. But I tried it again. I was like, maybe it's gonna get better. No. First half an hour of this movie is absolute trash. It's just, they're in Zion, and for starters, I don't care about Zion, not in the slightest. It wasn't really in the Matrix, okay? All those little people that I don't care about. The plot's like, oh, we gotta save Zion. No, I don't care if Zion lives or if Zion dies, as long as Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus can do some serious cool scenes, like the lobby scene from the first one, or the part where he goes, hey, Trinity, and he does the cool, like, backbending bit. As long as it's like that, okay? Now, this film had, I'm gonna be straight up honest, the majority of this movie was terrible, but then there was a few scenes where it was amazing. So it went from one extreme to the other. So the first half of this movie was about Zion. I didn't care about Zion. Honestly, forget about Zion. It's not important to me. I don't want to see it. And that's where the majority of this film is, and that's why I didn't like it at all. And it was slow, it was boring, the characters weren't interesting to me, I didn't care about the characters. The guy who does all the coding, he was in the first one, I can't remember why he's not in this one. But he wasn't, it was this new guy, and he just got on my nerves. Because when he kept them like going, yes, when he did something, or what's that, when they were looking at the codes, it just annoyed me. Get rid of that guy. If he's in the third one, I'm going to be so annoyed. First of all, these films were 1 year after one another. Take your time. Do a Terminator 2. Do an Aliens. I don't care. Take a little bit of time. Don't do an Independence Day Resurgence. Do not do that. But just take a little bit more care. Oh, it was so shockingly bad, this film. It was, honestly, it was terrible. So the first, I don't know, half an hour's been gone through. Stuff starts happening. Stuff I don't care about. Neo can fly. Neo can fly. I remember that's the one flaw, even though I would give The Matrix a 10 out of 10. That is the one thing I didn't like about it. Right at the end when he's like, I can't remember what he says, something like, we're coming to find you. And he puts the phone down, and then he just flies. And I'm like, what is that about? No, stop the flying. The bullet stopping thing, that was cool. Just don't let him fly. It takes away all the excitement. And it was so overused in this movie. He had the Superman, like, fist out. He was flying around, and then he caught, like, Trinity, like, Lois Lane. And I was like, stop it. Stop it right now. No. It was so bad. So it gets to this bit, where this was probably my favourite part of the movie. In fact, it was really, really good, I have to admit. Where they're in, like, a car chase. They've got this guy with all the keys, and, those two dreadlock guys with the white suits chasing them. They were okay for me. I didn't like the part of the way they could fly the ghost things, where that was weird. Another thing was all the guys' faces. You know where like they turn into the agents. Why was he so stupid in this one? In the first one, like they started like. It was like a quick, like, silent scream, like the guy in the helicopter puts his hand against the wall, and then, like, it took him about a split second to turn into the new agent. One of them, like, these two guys in the truck starts, like, spasming out, their heads start spazzing, their eyes, one eye, like, starts bulging out, and then he turns into the agent. I'm like, oh, no, it's on for, like, 3 seconds. Don't have it a split second, don't have it ridiculous, don't overuse it. So that annoyed me. But this part was cool. The chase scene went on for about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, which was really cool. There's this part where, like, Morpheus... The slow motion was quite overused in this film, because I was watching it with my brother, and he was like, the slow motion is very overused. But I liked it. I do admit I did like the slow motion in this. It just made it better. Honestly, if the slow motion was taken out, 30 minutes of this film would have been gone. So, like, Morpheus jumps out and he, like, slices across the car, and the car, like, flips over, and he pulls out this, SMG or something, and it goes in slow motion as he's shooting it, and it blows up. That was cool. Then the guys fly out, ghost form, and I'm like, oh, you just killed the scene. Then they get on top of these two trucks, and the two trucks drive at each other, and they get flung off the top of it. And Neo catches them by flying. Oh, no. It honestly was a really good scene, and they killed it with the Neo flying bit. Don't make Neo fly. Please don't make Neo fly. It kills it. It ruins it. Don't do it, please. Honestly, I'm asking as a genuine fan of the original Matrix, please don't make Neo fly. In fact, I would have literally preferred it if... I don't even know how they could have fixed the flying bit at the end of the Matrix, but even if you just completely ignored it, I would have preferred it than him flying about. This review's going on for a long time, but there's just so much I have to talk about. So that happens, and I'm already quite annoyed that the first half an hour of this film was absolutely rubbish. Goes on to an amazing scene that gets killed by Neo flying in for some reason. Then we get a bit along, and honestly, what happens? Nothing really. Nothing memorable. And then we get towards this part where he's called the Architect, and he's like the creator of the Matrix. I've seen a parody of this with Will Ferrell, and I didn't understand because I haven't seen the film. I've watched it. I had no idea what was going on. I'm gonna like be like, oh no, it didn't make sense. I worked it all out, and it just doesn't work. No, I straight up don't understand. It didn't make any sense. He was talking way too quick. He wasn't putting in any punctuation in his sentences. He was like me going, so hey, yes, my name is Nathan. Today we'll be talking about this. My favourite movie is Spider-Man 3, The Return of Green Lantern. No, I honestly, I couldn't follow it. And then it just seemed like he was using big words to make it a longer film. He was like, oh, no, he needs to go away. And then like all these screens in the background, I kind of get the gist that it's about like choices that choices have made, and like all the choices were fixed. I think that's what I got from it anyway. It might be completely wrong. Honestly, as soon as this review's done, I'm going to watch a full-on explanation like I did Prometheus. Although I understood Prometheus a little bit better. I just didn't like that film because it was classed as an alien film, and it definitely wasn't. So there we go. That was terrible. Neo's outfit was okay. When I looked at the picture, I was like, he looks like he's in a dress, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. It was stupid how he's flying. Then this part happens, right? It was kind of cool, the latter bit, but the beginning bit, he was flying, and there was this fire behind him, and then he flew out of a window, and I was like, go away, get lost, this isn't neat. So, yeah, but then there was a cool part, nearish the end. By the way, this was recorded, and I thought there was 40 minutes left, not knowing the last half an hour was whatever was on the next part. So I was like, oh, there's got a bit to go. And it suddenly ended, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So Trinity, like, she's having this fight with this agent, right? And then she jumps out of a window. This was cool, right? Because it goes in slow motion. She spins around, she pulls out these guns, and she's shooting. She's falling down the building. And then the agent jumps out and starts shooting as they're falling out of the building. That was really cool. And it's just a massive gimmick for me if someone jumps out of a window while the camera's like following them, like it did in well, it was on a roof, but in Mission Impossible 3 when Ethan Hunt's running across the roof and he jumps off and the camera was following him. I love it when that happens. It did it in Arrow, and it was great. I just love it when that happens. So falling, and this scene goes on for about a minute, I don't know, with sort of flashbacks or whatever. It's like whatever to what's happening in Zion, I don't care about. And then she gets caught by Neo, but she gets shot, and this part, it goes into some weird computer simulation where he reaches in and grabs the bullet, and I was like, no, don't do that. Now there was actually a really, really good scene that I absolutely loved. I rewatched that part for like, I don't know, 10 times, and it is so good, and it doesn't. It's one good scene in this movie. It doesn't get ruined by Neo flying in. I do take it, he does fly after the scene, but I'm not even including that part, because this scene was amazing. He's stood, all the guys stood in the line, and they all raise the guns, and they're just like shooting at him. He stops the bullets, like in the first one, but this time it's like loads more. He's so cool, and Neo dropping the floor, and there's this massive fight with them all. He's like punching, he stops this sword like on his hand, like drill bit Taylor, and then like, it was absolutely amazing. Honestly, it couldn't have got better, that scene. There was no CGI, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm sure they used strings, but there wasn't any of that weird CGI Neo that I hate with a passion. But overall, it was good, and that part was really good, I do have to say. And there's also I don't know, about an hour before, where he has a fight with, he's talking to the Oracle, and then Mr. Smith comes in, and then about 50 more Mr. Smiths come in, and he fights them all by himself. And the beginning of that was good, when it wasn't any CGI, if you know what I mean. And he was fighting them all, and then, it went into like an animation for about about 4 minutes of the entire film, of that entire scene, was literally CGI. They didn't even bother to add any part to it. It was the actors doing it. It was full on CGI. The suits had no textures. Mr. Smith's face was just weird. Neo looked a bit the same, but his costume just looked weirder. He started just like fighting all of them, and then like more started running in. I was like, come on. And guess what happens? He flies away again. If they cut the flying out of this film, every scene would have been 20 times better. Every single scene. And that's what annoyed me so much, because although I did really hate this film, there was scenes in it that was really, really, really good. Like, incredibly good. And the majority of them all end in the same way, that not Mr. Smith, Neo flies in, saves the day, or flies out of trouble. No, I want to see like the part where in the Matrix where Mr. Smith comes down, he's in the train station and he has to fight him. Imagine if that scene, he was fighting him, he punched Mr. Smith to the floor and then flew away. How annoyed would you be? Because that's how I felt all the way through this movie. And then we get the very final scene, and I didn't really understand what just happened. But obviously it was a planned trilogy as of what the end happened, because Neo, like, I can't remember, he stops like these weird, this is a spoiler review by the way, so I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you the ending right here. He stops these like, those weird little squid things that I don't care about, because again, to do with Zion, and I just want to see Neo fighting agents, not agents as in Mr. Smith, agents as in multiple, because that sucks, but actual, agents, like the cool ones from the first Matrix, we want them. But anyway, so yeah, he stops them, and then he passes out or whatever happens, I don't really care. And then Trinity picks him up, and he's on the hospital table or something. And then it flicks to these Zion people talking about this, like, it was something to do with survivors. And they're like, yeah, well, there is another survivor. And then the table just shows a video of his face, Neo's face, as he's unconscious, and it goes forwards and up, and it shows a guy with a beard. And then it cuts, it says to be concluded, and then the music kicks in. What? Right, this was recorded, okay, so there was advert, and it said on me there was 40 minutes left. No. I was so disappointed by this ending. I got up and I was like, what did I just watch? No, that ending sucked so much. Come on, it wasn't even like a cliffhanger ending, because I don't care who the person was. Honestly, a better cliffhanging ending, although it might annoy some people, the best one I can think of that you could do is him jumping out of a building and say to be concluded. Although I know he flies, so just do something like that, please. So, the characters I didn't care about. The plot I didn't care about. Everything to do with the movie I didn't care about, apart from about 4 or 5 scenes that were absolutely amazing. And that's the only reason that this movie isn't getting absolutely terrible review, is because it had some good parts in it. So, overall, I will say that The Matrix Reloaded is probably a 6 out of 10. It would have been a 4 out of 10 if it didn't have those scenes. I will be reviewing The Matrix Revolutions. Is it Revolutions or Revelations? Whatever the third one's called. I'll be reviewing that next. I haven't actually seen it as the point of this review. I have it recorded. I have 2 of them recorded just in case one of them clashed. Because I was so excited when I found out that all 3 of them were out over and over all day. So yeah, I'll be doing the Revelations next. Or Revolutions, I don't know what it's called. And then I'll maybe do the first one. Although I'm pretty sure everybody knows that the review will be 10 out of 10. And there's nothing I can talk bad about it apart from the very final scene where he flies. For some stupid reason. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.